Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Fury from the Deep Steelbook. Apologies for a delay on this one, I just hadn't gotten around to doing it until now. It is currently the 26th of January 2021. I am pleased to report that I did get this for Christmas, so that is a big thumbs up and a big smiley face. So now let's get into the review. So let's take out this steelbook from the slipcase. Actually, no, before we do that, here's the back, and it looks really great. I do have to report that, and this is the same thing on the DVD Blu-ray, and for the Power of the Daleks Special Edition DVD and Blu-ray, it does not mention that the 12 certification is due to special features. This story is rated PG, but there is an extra on this rated 12. I'm not sure which one it is. I did look at the BBFC website back in September, but none of the ones I found were listed to be rated 12. The story and extras were PG or U. So my guess is it's for the slide audio drama for this release. So that's the back. This is the one of the spines and the other spine. And now we shall remove it from the slipcase. Behind the slipcase is the booklet and the Time Lord Victorious leaflet. So let's get this slipcase over there. This is the leaflet. There is not an awful lot to it added to it, but it's still pretty good. Nice thing for Time Lord Victorious. And a really great booklet inside with the production information on the story, and also for the animated version, plus 2 pages of special features listed, as opposed to Fury from, sorry, not Fury, this is Fury from the Deep, as opposed to the Faceless ones, which only had 1 single page, and half the, there were 2 pictures that took up quite a bit of space on that page anyway. So this is already a big step up, because we got the extras listed on 2 discs, and 2 smaller pictures to go with it. So it gives it a bit more of a cleaner feel with the pictures added to Macroterra's one, but it also lists loads of extras, unlike Faceless ones. So it's the best of both Macroterra and Faceless ones. 2 nice pictures, but also lots of extras listed as they should be. We'll come back to the special features later. And there's the back. I still don't know why they have the episodes individually, mentioned the original transmission dates and the viewing figures and the other final transmission dates internationally. Some of this information usually goes on the back of the DVDs, but for the animated version stories, they seem to be doing it a little bit differently. They seem to put it in the back of the booklets rather than on the back of the DVDs, like the written by Victor Pemberton, produced by Peter Bryant, directed by Hugh David, with 2020 version produced and directed by Gary Russell, Luke Macarati and Chloe Grace. And the first broadcast from 16th of March 1968 to 20th of April 1968. Sorry, originally broadcast on BBC One between the 16th of March and 20th of April 1968. That's what it usually is, with occasionally also mentioning the music and also who does the booklet, the cover and the sleeve text. But they've changed that for the animated versions for some reason. Anyway, here's the steelbook itself. This is the front with the TARDIS. Now, I was slightly annoyed when I first saw pictures that the sign's on the wrong side, but I think that's what happened in the actual episodes. They put the sign on the right-hand side rather than the left, so I can't really blame the artwork people for doing that. Also, what didn't happen is the seaweed didn't wrap around the TARDIS and give it foam. The TARDIS was actually in the water, not on the beach. But it's still a really great image, so I'm not going to complain. And on the back we see the Doctor, Victoria and Jamie with the helicopter above. Now, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Doctor appears on any of the classic series steelbook covers apart from Vashada and Spearhead from Space. So all of the second Doctor one. This is the first second Doctor steelbook to include the second Doctor on the steelbook case. So this is a nice picture of them just looking towards what's going on out front. And if we open it up, it's a nice double picture one. Looks really good. Now that it's open, we'll go inside. The discs are the same picture and the same picture as we see on the DVD and Blu-ray discs. As opposed to Power of the Daleks and Macra Terrors, which were separate pictures for the steelbooks from the standard DVD and Blu-ray. But Sharda's were the same, but the third disc had the same picture as the second disc for the steelbook, and then Faceless Ones and Fury from the Deep are the same pictures. So these are the pictures, basically the ones from the standard DVD and Blu-ray. As noted, the story itself is rated PG, but there is a 12 rated extra on disc 3, and we'll just remove the pictures themselves, the discs themselves, and we'll see the inside of the casing has Mr. Quill and Mr. Oak. I think that's the right way around. Quill, Oak, or is that Quill and that's Oak? I'm not quite sure. I think that's Quill and this is Oak. Again, a nice picture of them looking at each other inside the control room. I think it might be from part 4 or part 5. But yeah, nice picture of the two of them there. Recently, the inside pictures of the steelbook have been a double-edged sword in some cases. Series 6's steelbook, for instance, had the Dr. Amy Rory and the astronaut promotional image, but it was more sided onto the right, I think. The right-hand side or the left-hand side, and the other side was a bit left open a bit. And the Series 7 one has the Series 7 Part 1 on the front, but it has Series 7 Part 2 on the inside front, and on the back, Series 7 Part 1 on the inside back, but Part 2 on the outside back. Wouldn't it have been better for Series 7 Part 1 on the left and Part 2 on the right? But they put it the other way around. It also looks more visually pleasing with Part 1 on the left and Part 2 on the right. I guess it's because of where the discs were placed on the inside, because the discs are usually placed, the earlier discs are placed on the right hand side and the later ones on the left hand side for those ones. But whilst the inside of the new series release is kind of questionable, the classic series ones consistently remain good with the inside casing, so no complaints on this one. So we'll just put the discs back in. As for the story itself is brilliant. I've done a review of it. It's on the Universal's YouTube channel now. There is a link to that, a link video on this channel that was released in March, so you can go scroll back down and look for that, or look in one of the Doctor Who review playlists. But suffice to say, it is a brilliant story, absolutely brilliant. When I reviewed it back in 2019, I wasn't too much of a fan when watching through the loose cannon reconstruction version, but thanks to this animation, I now have a love for this story. I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10 for me, but it's still very high in regard. I give it a 9, and I can see why people consider it a classic. It is a brilliant story. So let's round up the video with some scores. And unlike the previous times where I've rambled about trying to give my scores and not been certain what scores I've given other releases, I've actually done some calculations this time round. I checked what I gave elements of the DVD and Blu-ray scores, and I've done some mathematics. So story is a definite 9 out of 10. With 7 out of 10 extras, there are quite a few great extras, including the slide documentary, some behind the scenes, and rediscovering extras. I think there could have been a little bit more, but I think there's enough to warrant the third disc this time around, as opposed to Faceless Ones, which didn't need the third discs. You could have put the extras from disc 3 across discs 1 and 2, and it wouldn't be difficult, even for DVD. But for this release, it definitely warranted the third disc. Maybe not as much as Power of the Daleks, but special edition, but it certainly warranted the third disc. So the extras is a 7 out of 10. Content, that's the leaflet and stuff, remains a 6. The booklet remains an 8. The artwork in the slipcase, more or less a similar thing, to be honest, both for a 10 out of 10. So yeah, this is one of the best artworks we've gotten. Who did this? Stuart Manning. Stuart Manning did a fantastic job with this artwork. Yeah, even if this didn't happen in the episode, the TARDIS being wrapped by the seaweed on the beach, that didn't happen in the episode, but it's still really cool. Oh, also, the oil rig in the background. That's pretty neat. So, yeah, a great release. I gave it a total of it came to 50 out of 60, which rounding to out of 10 is 8 out of 10. Well, specifically 8 1/3 out of 10, but we've got to round up or down to a higher scores, because I don't do the point scores. I do the round scores, like 8, 9, 7, etc. I don't do 8.33 or 8 1/3. So I don't do the points, I don't do the fractions, I do the whole numbers. So that's why it's being an 8, but it's been rounded down to an 8. But from my mathematician, my calculations, it would be 8 1/3 or 8.33. It would have to beat 8.50, 8.5 to go to 9 out of 10. Similarly, I think the Faceless One Steelbook was, I think that was in the 7 point somethings, but it was rounded up to an 8, so I think that must have been above the 7.5s section to be rounded up to 8. That's why I wasn't doing my maths right, but it was a great release, so I'm not going to change my score on that. So yeah, this is an 8 out of 10 release. To be honest, I don't even know if I should bother rating the contents, the leaflet stuff in future. I think that's just going to be an additional, unnecessary, small score. Then we should just rank it out of 50 and not worry about the contents. Heck, the slipcase as well, so maybe we should just rank it out of 40. If I was to rank it out of 40, then that would be 9, 7, 8, and 10, which would be, if you indulge me for a moment for working out, 10 and 8 is 18, and then 9 is 27, and then 7 would be 36. This would actually be enough. So if this was out of 40, if I took out contents and slipcase scores, and it was out of 40, it would be 36 out of 40, which would actually make it a 9 out of 10. So maybe I should do that in the future. Maybe I should abort the slipcase and content scores and just go with or combine booklet and contents and just have it as the highest score. So yeah, but that's something to think about for the future for me. So we'll stick with the 8 out of 10, but out of 6, if we were going out of 60, but if we were going out of 40, it would be a 9 out of 10. But yeah, that'll be an experiment for another time. But we'll stick with the formula we've got at the moment. So that's my review of this Steelbook Blu-ray. It is a lovely Steelbook. I highly recommend getting it if you can. I also highly recommend getting the DVD and or Blu-ray if you can. If you're a collector, you can get all 3 or 2 of the 3 DVD and Steelbook, Blu-ray and Steelbook, DVD and Blu-ray. If you just want the one, then if you're more of a DVD collector, get the DVD. If you want it to upgrade to Blu-ray, go for Blu-ray. And if you want the Steelbooks, go for Steelbook. But yeah, this is a great release. And I got myself a Doctor Who Blu-ray collection. I've got Blu-rays in a box actually down here as well. Down there, that's got quite a few classic series ones in there. But the Steelbooks and the complete collection box sets are on the windowsill, and Fury from the Deep will go here. I've recently acquired Spearhead from Space and the Dalek movies as well. If I do Steelbook reviews of those, it would be like with Series 12 at a later date. Actually, maybe I could do Spearhead from Space, because I've already seen the extras on the standard Blu-ray. But the Doctor and the Daleks and Daleks Invasion Earth one would have to be at a later date. Same for Series 9, which if you want to see my complete Steelbook collection, it also consists of, ignore the fact that these are in the wrong order, Series is 9, 10, 11 and 12. I also have the Series 5 2010 Steelbook DVD, which is now currently in the box. And of course I recently did videos about the announcements of Season 24 coming to Blu-ray box set, and Season 8, the announcement about that back in November, so I will try and get those when they come out. The same reasons the Series 12 Blu-ray Steelbook and the potential delay of the Dalek Steelbook, movie Steelbooks being not coming too soon is also the reason why those box sets will not be reviewed anytime soon either. But maybe then unboxing later down the line? Question mark. Depends what happens. But anyway, that's my review of the Fury from the Deep Steelbook. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. We'll get back to special features, but we'll take Ben. But as the classic. So whilst the new series ones inside cover kit's a fantastic store. And so